Canada, United States, bizarre border that runs down the middle of a street. Wow, there's a tongue twister for you. G'day guys, how's it going? My name is AussieTash. This particular video was suggested to me by one of my members on Discord. Shout out to Jimmer Jammer. Love your stuff, mate. Always love your suggestions. I'm really interested in this. There is a street. One side is Canada, one side is the United States. How does it work? Is there like a big border thing? A big border crossing in there? A bridge? Not quite too sure. Very interested. But before we do, guys, please make sure to jump on, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for all future live streams and videos. Okay, let's get into it. I'm excited. I'm not going to say the title again because I'm too tongue-tied. Let's roll.
All right, Alicia, you ready?
I'm always
Guys, you ready to do it? Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yay!
Let's do it.
Okay, it looks like they were on the American side then.
We've got a great video for you today on how to have fun outdoors. That's right, this one's super duper special. We're going to take you to a road that splits the United States and Canada. That's right, this one is super remarkable, and I could not believe it when we heard about it and we said, let's get up there. That's right, one side of the street is in Canada, the other side of the street is in the United States of America. We're going to show you a library that's split between the two countries. Homes and apartments that are split between the two countries, and so much more. So if you haven't, please subscribe. It would mean so much to us to grow this channel. Hit that like button. That would mean a lot to grow this video. And thank you so much for watching How to Have Fun Outdoors. Look at Alicia having fun right there in the middle of the street. And no question about it, this was a cool place. This is where you entered into Canada from the United States. And from the sky, we're going to take you to northern Vermont. That's right, where it crosses the border. And as you can see here, this is the area.
All right, here we are, getting ready to cross over into Canada, folks.
Wow.
And there's the United States Custom and Immigration.
The Canadian-United States border is gigantic. There's areas like this that are on streams where it just goes back and forth, and it's crazy.
Wow.
There's areas like this where your child could play with the Canadian in the backyard. That's right next to each other. But believe it or not, this is one monster border, and down the road in northern Vermont, that's right, you can cross over. And this particular area here has all kinds of bizarre border areas. That's right. We're going to go through each one of them. And where are we at? We're way north of Boston and New York. And the border between Canada and the United States is the longest international border in the world.
That's really cool.
Right, folks. This is a monster border. We're going to even show you some buildings, libraries, that the border goes right straight through the middle. Can you believe that? And believe it or not, we're going to take you there and walk you around and show you these places. It is super cool, including this famous Haskell-free library and the road that we're going to be on right now.
And they're allowing us to go.
Okay. This is really cool, mate. It looks like there is a little border security thing set up. You know, there's you know, the international border from America and Canada. They've got the customs officers. They've got like the bridges and stuff like that, the banisters. But oh my gosh, why would you set it up like that? I mean, I don't know. It seems very interesting. I'm excited to find out all about this video. Oh my gosh. So you've got like the biggest borderline in the world. That makes complete sense, mate, because look at your countries. They're huge and they're right next to each other. So that's really cool. Looking forward to getting to this. This is really interesting stuff. I love these kind of videos. Let's get into it. I'm excited.
Go through.
All right.
We're heading across.
So you're going to have your passports,
here's the
right?
road that splits the United States with Canada.
It's in French.
This is awesome.
This Canadian flag.
All right, what do you got there, Alicia? What do you got to do to cross this border here?
So it's very easy. There is an app. I can show you how it looks like. This one here is called Arrive Can.
Arrive Can.
So you load your information as far as passport and vaccination for COVID already in the app. And then there is another step that is that it allows you to decide fill up a form and you allow it to decide which location you are going to cross the border and what time. So
Okay.
we had an appointment for 11 a.m. on the 29th at Stansted BD. So we know exactly where to go, and
Okay.
now here we are.
All
That's
right.
awesome. Little bitty town here, and we're super excited about it. We picked this crossing because we're going to go on the only road that is actually split between the United States and Canada, and we're going to check that out in a minute once we cross the border.
Let's go and check it out.
Let's do it.
You still have to have your papers, right? You have to. You can't just do it off an app. That could be anybody's QR code.
This house actually splits the border.
What?
Here comes Alice in the Grand Wagoneer. Hey, Alice!
Now, they would have had to show papers and stuff.
Here we are in the village of Stansted, Canada. And believe it or not, every house over here is Canadian.
Yeah.
And
okay.
here's the main street. And believe it or not, Alice is in the United States of America.
Yes, I'm in Vermont right now.
So this is the only street in the United States and Canadian border that actually splits the border.
Why
And that's
would they
right,
do
folks.
that?
Canada and the United States of America. All right, Alice, what are you doing?
Canada, Vermont. Canada, Vermont. I'm in two
Please stop
countries
doing
at
that.
the same time.
Look at that, folks. Only here in Stansted, in Canada, and the United States of America.
You ready? Let's talk to some of the locals and they can
Okay.
tell us what they think about this border.
All right,
It seems really, really confusing why they would do that, why one side of the street would be on American soil and the other side of the street would be Canadian soil. I'm not quite too sure. I'm guessing it goes back to wars that are hundreds and hundreds of years old. Who knows? Let's hear from the locals about what they think about this bizarre borderline crossing. It really is a little bit bizarre. It can't be that easy. Like, you can't just walk from one side of the road to the other. Maybe you can. I don't know. Do you have to have, like, passports? Is there, like, some sort of special little passport thing that you have that says that you live in this area and you can freely just go from one spot to the other? I've got no idea. I guess it's similar to being on the crossing that Confederation Bridge all the time, isn't it? Because, you know, you live in Canada and you got to cross it to go to work in America or vice versa. So, yeah, that just seems really, really strange to me. But it could be a daily thing. And I guess it probably is a daily thing for, not in this instance, this might be just for like hundreds of people, but hundreds of thousands of people probably have to commute to work from Canada to America or America to Canada every day. And that's just, it's cool. It's definitely cool. But it sort of boggles your mind at the same time, mate. The closest thing that we've had to anything like this is during COVID, you could not go to other states. You call them provinces, we call them states. During lockdown, mate, you had to get a state passport to go to different states. And, mate, even then, it was a very, very strict, mate. The terms and conditions to be able to travel into another state, mate, that there weren't many reasons that would allow you to do it. Maybe like a truck driver, something like that. Yeah, mate. It was strict for about 6 months too. So, yeah. All right. Interviewing the locals, see what they think about this bizarre border that coexists between Canada and the United States. Wow, that was a lot of talking. Almost pressed stop recording there too. Not
we
good.
got Alan here. He's a local.
How's it going,
he lives
mate?
in this town that splits the USA with Canada. And what side do you live on?
I live on the Canadian side.
The Canadian
Okay.
side.
I drive on the U.S. side of the
Yeah.
road to come
Yeah.
to work, and I go back home on the Canadian side.
That is awesome. And you were saying some people actually follow their GPS, take a right up here, and go past customs. And what kind of fine is that?
Actually, what it is that they probably stay in Newport, Vermont, and then they come through the smaller custom because it's closer and it's quicker.
Yeah.
And then the GPS doesn't know custom, so it tells the person to turn
Yeah.
right to come to our place, but it doesn't know it didn't go through customs.
Oh, no.
5 minutes later, the police comes in, picks up the guy, brings him to the custom, and charges him $1,000 if he wants to
So
go
it
home.
doesn't say on the GPS
So you're one of
there's
the
a
few
custom
people
border
in North
crossing.
America that drive to work in the USA and go home in Canada. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but there's a lot of us. But
Yeah.
most of our workers are Americans here.
Okay.
Because the closest hospital was in Newport, Vermont. So
Okay.
our doctors would say, we don't have time to go to Magog or Sherbrooke. Let's go to Newport. That's why most of our workers are born in the States.
Wow.
Pretty awesome. So thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Tommy, where are you going?
Dude. He's you idiots.
And now what are you doing?
Canada.
Oh,
You're gonna get hit by a car, you
you're
idiot.
confusing.
Hey, I just went to U.S., Canada, and Canada, back to U.S., and back to Canada, all within a couple of seconds, right here in Stansted. That's right, Stansted, we're back.
Wow.
So we had a great time on this road, and Alice loved the fact that she could be standing in both countries at the same time. There's Pete, our official tour guide, born in Montreal, loves Canada, and he was all excited to show us this area. But overall, we're going to move on down the road to what's called a line house. It's a building located on an international boundary where it passes through it. And the Haskell Free Library, the Opera House, that falls into that category.
Oh, look at all
But
those
so
signs.
do some of these other buildings. How about this apartment complex right here, straight through the middle? So your neighbor
Wow.
is a Canadian, you're an American.
How does that
This is
work?
so awesome. If I live in this house, my neighbors is American.
Oh.
But if I live in this house, my neighbors is Canadian.
Hey, look at
Okay, I've just thought of a really, really cool thing. I want to be living in this thing, and I want my living room to be like in America, but I want my toilet to be in Canada. I don't know why. I just want to sleep in America and do a poop in Canada. Oh my gosh. This is really, really strange. I don't know why they do this. It seems very bizarre. But it's really, really cool. Really, really cool.
that. Pretty remarkable, huh?
Yeah.
This house splits the border of the United States and Canada, and those are the two doors. That one
Oh,
is
it is
the
true.
U.S., that one is Canada. All right, here we are at one of the coolest libraries in the entire world. That's right. Why? Because it's an international library in the true meaning that the border of the United States and Canada split the library in half.
Wow.
Unfortunately, right now, it's appointments only because of the current situation. But I don't know if it'll ever go back to full tours because a lot of tourists come here and it is a local town library, but it is super cool. And luckily
Yeah.
they gave us a little glimpse, but we couldn't do the full tour like we thought. And but we're going to try to do that in the future for you. But hopefully you get to see a little bit of the rest of this area. It is so unique where the border splits Canada and the United States.
Okay, let's go check it out. This is the Haskell Free Library and Opera House. Pretty famous place. It's a
Opera House?
Victorian building that straddles the Canadian-United States border on Rock Island, now part of Stansted, Quebec, and Derby Line, Vermont, respectively. The Opera House actually opened way back in 1904, and believe it or not, it was deliberately built on the international border. It was declared a heritage building by both countries back in the 70s and 80s.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
right, folks. As far as the National Register of Historic Places for the United States, 1976, and for Canada, it was designated the National Historic Site way back in 1985.
Okay.
So here we go. We're going to take you inside the library through the front door. You definitely have to have reservations. They didn't have time for a full tour, but they did let us have a peek, and we want to thank everybody there. Right now, it's only open to members of the library unless you have an appointment. But here is the line that goes through the library. Super duper cool. You're definitely going to want to check that one out.
And luckily, considering the situation right now, they allow only members to actually go inside, and you needed to book in advance to have a full
This was
tour.
definitely
But
during
we've been
COVID
lucky
and
enough
stuff,
to at least have a first glance of the library, and we suggest everyone to always stop here because it's really cool.
We did get to see a squirrel cross the
have a look
border,
at you,
and
buddy.
customs were all over that little guy. He got thrown in jail. But overall,
No,
we had a
he
great time,
didn't.
and there are customs all over the place. And when I say all over the place, they're all over the place.
What do you
But
mean?
Pete took us to a famous, that's right, Canadian meal. We had the famous coleslaw. Check this out.
All right, here we are in Canada. This is the traditional coleslaw or the creamy coleslaw, similar
Okay.
to the U.S. But both of these are way better than the U.S. What do you like better?
The traditional, to be honest.
Put it in a little bit
Traditional,
closer.
I'll go with the creamy. Thank you.
Oh, they got some poutine there.
that, huh, Lisa?
We have coleslaw.
Looks good.
We had a great time.
Okay, well, there you have it, guys. Canada, United States, bizarre border that runs down the middle of a street. My gosh, that was really, really cool. A little bit bizarre. Well, pretty bizarre. You have to think, why would they do it? I'm not quite too sure, but it's in Quebec. There's a little town, Sandstead, was it? It looks absolutely beautiful. How beautiful do the houses look? The grass looks so green. You can bounce from one side of the road to the other, from Canada to America, from America to Canada. That's really cool. I really, really enjoyed that. Me, I'd be a little kid just, running from one side of the road to the other, one side of the road to the other. But yeah, what an interesting video. That was the video for today, guys. If you liked it, please jump on, smash the like button, leave a comment, and of course, remember to subscribe. That really helps the channel out. Also, guys, tell me, have you been to any of these bizarre little border places that run through Canada and America? In the comments, if you have, let me know. I'd love to hear your stories. Cheers from down under. Take care. Bye.